It has become completely clear to me that when I'm streaming, the one person who tunes in says nothing is Richard Masucci. I know it is because nobody else is pointing out the shit that I've been pointing out. I've watched no one else say the things I'm saying. And then he will reference it. He will talk about it in his videos, on his live streams. I'm like, dude, you're talking about me, dude. You're talking about me. I know who it is. I haven't seen anybody else point out this shit or point out these flaws about you and pointed out the sensationalism and the alarmism. It's just been me. And then here it is. Here it is. Here it is, him bringing it up. And I'm doing this as a video because it's so fucking clear. Like, dude, why don't you just have like a debate and an argument with me? I don't know why you wouldn't, other than I'm a small fry, but I'm approaching 1,000 subs. I'm approaching. That's not quite as much as you or anybody else, but it's pretty noteworthy for me. I'm finally getting there. I've got like 15 more to go. 15 more to go. But I feel like this is something worth talking about. No one else that I have seen has said the exact words he's repeating here. No one else. So let's go ahead. Just, if you want to, I will link to this video. You can go watch it. But it's so obvious to me that he's watching me. And he's probably the one who will tune in and say nothing for a while. That or somebody's just linking to him the shit I say. One of the two. One of the two. So this whole video has to do with like the pricing of this stuff. He's going on about it again. He's drolling on about it again. And I want to make note, Rich. I just want to, just for posterity, I don't weaponize your kids. I don't do any of the shit these other shit stains do. Okay, I don't do that. But I will call you out on the things that I disagree with. And I will sit here and publicly disagree about it. I will put out videos and talk about it on live stream, okay? And those are your rules. I'm just saying, those are the rules that you put out there, all right? You don't want nobody talking shit about your family or weaponizing your kids and whatnot. I agree with that 100% because if they were my kids, I wouldn't want that either. If it was my family, I wouldn't want that either. That is a low fucking blow. That is bullshit. That is shit-stained behavior. That's what I like to call it. Shit-stained behavior. Anyhow. So, without watching the whole video, I'm not going to do that. It just comes to this part, and he uses the words that I have used.
I've been warning about this. People say that I'm an alarmist and a pessimist, saying that...
And by people, he means me. And by people, he means me.
We're in dark times with this, and I always talk about negative gaming news. How would you like me to spin this positively?
There's lots of ways you can spin it positively. You can look at variables, okay? For those who don't understand variables, it's the what ifs, okay? Yes, it could go badly. It could, but consider this. Certain companies that would be up against it, and eventually something would have to give, all right? And I do believe something will give, because here's my belief system. Good triumphs, all right? AI is evil. AI data centers are evil. All right? It can't go on like this forever. Things can't stay negatively like this forever. It's not the end of the fucking world. It's not doom and gloom. You go ahead and keep spinning shit the way you want and just having the sensationalist and the alarmist shit on your titles and everything, but it's the absolute truth. Is that you just focus it on it and you don't. This is the other thing. The fact that he uses the channel review tech anything, and he's not that technical. There's facets when it comes, and I know I'm kind of sounding like fucking Harmon or somebody else right at this point. I don't care. There are facets to technology that he never really touches on. I remember back when Vulkan became a thing, the API, and he only touches on the hardware side of things. I'm like, you have to consider the firmware and the software side of things. A lot of games that made it to the original Switch was because of the APIs that were involved. And one of those APIs, and Nintendo has actually invested in this, was Vulkan. And I tried to get him to talk about this. I would bring it up and everything, but he wouldn't fucking touch on it. But that's just an example of one facet of technology that this dingling never touches on. This goober, and that is one hell of a that's one hell of a still to stop on. I'm gonna be honest. It looks like I stopped on one of those porns, and you got the guys up there above. You're like, what the fuck? I don't hate Rich. I just vehemently disagree. I don't hate the guy. I am disgruntled with him, and I disagree with a lot of stuff. But other than that, he does irritate me, and I think he could be a better person. Other than that, I don't hate the guy. I just get frustrated with the guy. And then again, my mom was taught me, don't hate a person, just hate how they are. Don't hate them, just hate how they are. Disagree with how they are, but don't hate. Hate begets hate. That's just how I was taught.
Please tell me. Now, I know what Moore's Law is that said about...
Please tell me. Well, I've told you before. They can't go up against all these corporations. Eventually, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, maybe not Microsoft, but Nintendo, Sony, and other companies that rely on revenue from physical technology. Never mind physical media, just physical technology, selling hardware. They can't go this. Something has to give. Someone somewhere will step in at some point. Things don't always stay bad. You know, we are just in the eye of the storm right now. And the way I can spin this of getting better is there's too much against it. All right. And things will give. And eventually people smarten up. They vote better. Things will get done. All right. We're just in the thick of it right now. All right. It's not forever. All right. So I don't agree. I don't agree one single iota in the whole notion that they don't want you to own anything. You'll own nothing and be happy, blah, 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 blah. Which I'm not saying that's not true, that they don't think that way, but there's too much that works against it. All right. And if people are smart enough, which maybe I'm giving humanity too much credit, it's not going to go that far. It's just not. It's not good for business. And when it gets to that point, yeah. So
the Switch 2 is that they've handled their components, and that's why they're increasing production, even with the price increase of the console, because they're confident that price can remain steady for the foreseeable future.
And it's funny, the entire video, he doesn't really touch that much on what the title says, which is Switch. He mostly talks about how the Steam Deck went up and these other things went up. I still encourage you to watch the video. This video is just for me to disagree with him and point out just the fact that he's like, that he's like, people say I'm an alarmist and a pessimist. You called yourself a pessimist. It's been a while, but you called yourself a pessimist, and there was another word you used. So don't, because you're self-aware of your negativity. You are very self-aware of it. You've called yourself these things before. It's been a long time, but I remember these things, and I hold on to these things, and I go back to these things. I need to search up any content I can find where I think it was a stream where he admitted to it. He's like, yeah, I'm a pessimist. He also said he's an a-hole. So there you go. Why did I make this video? Because I wanted to just be like, yeah, this dude, he won't let it be known, but I guarantee you when he's not working or doing anything, he randomly looks in to see what I'm doing, and he sees what I have to say, but he won't say it's me, because that's like pointing people towards my channel, which is fine. I don't care if he does or not. I don't want that. But the thing that gets me is he still says this stuff. He's still so sure of how bad this is gonna go, and we're not gonna own anything, and blah 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 blah. That's not good for a lot of other businesses. And eventually those other businesses, I can guarantee you, will step in. Nintendo will have something to say eventually. They'll have their own what do you call those idiots who go to Washington and they're like, Hey, we need this to happen. Here's some money, you know. They're going to go there and do that. Nintendo will, and probably Sony. I don't know about Microsoft. They have something to gain from all the AI bullshit. Not so much Nintendo or Sony. All right? Not so much a lot of companies. They don't necessarily have it. So I can't agree with this, and this is me disagreeing even further and pointing out that also I know you're tuning in every now and then, or somebody's clipping me or something else and sending it your way. One of those. And that's all I got. That's all I got to say. I'm out.